Oh, wow. Has it actually not been live this whole time? What is it doing? Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? You can hear me, I think. Um, well, that was great. Thanks, Ecam. You fucked it up even further. That's incredible. Fantastic. So I was sitting here waiting to go live, fixing a couple of things on the side, and you had a terrible view of it all. Anyway, we're back. It's Chord Dave. We're live. It's Saturday, and here we are. We're back, and I feel terrible just because of that. I feel good otherwise, but yeah. Thankfully, there's a beer in my hand. It's a Hobgoblin, so it's both one of my favorite beers and potentially a porn star name. So anyway, Hobgoblin for the win. Sláinte to you wherever you might be. Yeah. So anyway, let's try and get on and have a regular Chord Dave live experience from now on. And apologies for the nonsense that was going on there. Ecamm, who was my live stream software, just keeps getting worse. And yet they keep taking money every month. So I'm going to stop using them after today, guys, which is why I will not be on Chord Dave live next week. I'm going to take a week off because I need to do some stuff and prepare some stuff. So no Chord Dave live next week, but I'll make it up to you. I got some stuff. I'm planning some stuff. I'm always planning stuff. I've got some stuff. So I'm gonna take off next week from Chord Dave live. I'm gonna fix and get a new stream host thing that I'm using because this one's getting ridiculous. That is actually quite embarrassing what just happened. So apologies, guys. Anyway, let's roll on because Scott Bugfoot was here at like 9 o'clock about an hour ago. So let's help him enjoy himself this evening. I got some other. Oh, hang on, it's still showing the timer. God damn it. Anyway, I don't think you even got the sound today for the music. So anyway, I just saw me sitting here. Just that was great. YouTube. One of these days I will get it right. All right, I got a goal for you. If we reach $3,500 in super chats, I'll set up a guitar company. That's my plan. I've been working on it all day. And I've said it realistically unrealistic on purpose. So anyway, let's roll on and get into it. Scott was here, of course, first. Richard Clark was here as well early. Good to see you, Richard. Says, isn't this a little later than normal? I think Dave might have touched on it last week. Well, I mean, 3 minutes later than I intended it to be. But there you go. James Severin says, hey, Chord Dave, my Irish brother. Well, it's great to see you, James. Hope you're well, my friend. And T is here as well. Says, hey to everyone in chat. Buglips is here as well. Always great to see you, Buglips. Hope you're doing well with that Donner. And Trash Slayer says, hey, hi, everybody. Won't be able to join you live today, but I'll definitely catch it later. Well, Trash Layer in the later part of the whatever time it is. Hope you're doing well. Ryan Burns here. Always great to see you, Ryan. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Scott says, I'm deciding whether or not to watch The Matrix for the first time. Dude, it's like 25 years ago. That was a cutting edge movie. You should definitely watch it. It's a great movie. Buglips is disgusted and says, you've never seen The Matrix? The first one is definitely worth a watch. The other two, there's a third other one now. Came out last year or the year before. Anyway, there's a fourth Matrix movie now. I'm going to tell you which ones I think are good and bad. The first one's great, I think. There you go. You could as well just watch the first one and be like done with it. But the other two are worth watching. The other part of the original trilogy. The fourth one's a bit of a. It's not as bad as some people say it is, but it's not wonderful. There you go. Glenn Bailey is here. He says, hello, family. He's trying his best not to get a timeout this week, but we will see what happens. I'm just kidding. I got other plans for that this week. Ryan says, I've never seen The Matrix either, or Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings. Ryan, there's so much I like about you, Ryan. You're one of the cool people in the Chord Dave community, but you've got to watch Star Wars, man. Star Wars it's cool. Most of the time, my t-shirts are Star Wars related. This is a Star Wars related t-shirt. I love Star Wars, man. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, everybody will have different opinions, but I like it a lot. Glenn says I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Well, Glenn, that's not as bad as not watching Star Wars. Uh, so, well, anyway, with that one, I don't really mind if you don't watch it. Um, yeah, I was excited when those movies came out first. I don't think I've watched them, the Lord of the Rings ones, in since they came out, which was whatever it was, 2002 maybe. I don't know. Buglip says it took me 1 years to get to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Long after all the hype died off, I got the extended ones and watched it as 6 movies over 6 nights. Divvies up well, very comfy. But that's one way of watching movies, which is, oh, yeah, I see you wrote later, 10 years, not one. That is way after the hype died down for sure. It's all good. Scott says first I was turned away by its popularity. Then I was worried it would break my brain to think about. I mean, Scott, here's the basic idea of the Matrix. The human beings have been enslaved by computers, technology, machines, and we are basically batteries for them. They store us in these little pods to keep us alive. We are fed the dying so that we are kept alive to keep power in the machines. We're basically power plants, and they have all these people. The thing is, and this is where you got to think about it, would the machines allow us in our little matrix where we're, shown a type of life where our brain is kind of fooled into thinking in our VR kind of world that we're living our life? Would they allow us to watch a movie that had that storyline? Or would it be the perfect movie because we'd be like, it's just a movie and no one would ever believe it? Or are we just living in a simulation anyway? I mean, this is why I should start a conspiracy theory channel, just like the Y-Files, one of my other favorite YouTube channels that's not guitar related. Shout out to them if they're here, which they should have, probably have not. They have no reason to be. Anyway, Glenn Bailey says, I have no new gear this week, but I sold off my Gibson. How could you sell a Gibson, Glenn? That is highly ridiculous. I saw it on Facebook actually. It's the Explorer. Look pretty cool. I like the look of it. But I don't have an Explorer, so I don't know if it was good or bad. But let me know your experiences with it, because I didn't know you had a Gibson Explorer. Did I? But it's a great way for me to say right now, join our Facebook group. The link is in the description of all our videos. People like Glenn have been posting cool pictures for weeks now, and you're missing out. So make sure you join up to the Facebook group. There's an awful lot of cool stuff going on over there, a lot of cool people. And usually if I find snippets of stories or get told something, I will say it over there before anywhere else. So yeah, get yourself over to the Facebook group and like it and do things and leave stories. And sometimes there's people over there, by the way, who don't come to live stream, so you can chat with people who are not here, which is great. And there's a picture of Dave Grohl holding an Epiphone DG335 over there right now that I posted this morning, yesterday, I don't know, recently. I never know what day of the week it is. So anyway, good stuff though, Glenn. Glad you got rid of it, maybe? I don't know. Was it good? Let me know. I'll get to that in about an hour and a half. Book Group says my favorite character was the hero Gollum. That's in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had a favorite, but there you go. Maybe the guy with the beard. He was my favorite. Glenn says I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm more of a Planet of the Apes fan. Seeing all of those. See, Glenn, the first part of that sentence, you were getting a timeout. You were getting a timeout right there for saying you're not a big Star Wars fan. But then you said Planet of the Apes, and I forgave you because I do love Planet of the Apes movies. They're great. And I get excited when new ones come out, and then sometimes they're shit, and I think, oh, why did I get all excited? Some of the old ones are shit as well, but they're fun. But the first two are brilliant. And then the rest of them are just living off the name of the first ones. Is it the third one or the fourth one's really good as well? Anyway, they're fun movies. The most recent ones are really good, and I believe there's more coming. Maybe it's another reboot. I don't Anyway, rolling on. Ryan says, I hear you, Scott. Anything hyped up that much makes me look elsewhere. It was the same for Game of Thrones. People made too big a deal out of it. Well, yeah, they did. I mean, it was great. Game of Thrones was fantastic for the first 4 seasons, and then it got terrible. It got just, it was just not done well. Um, yeah. My biggest memory from Game of Thrones is, you guys know I did some film business work for a few years, and it's a very strange place. But people are always going on about diversity and males versus females and stuff right now. They have been for the last 10 years or so, which is understandable in a lot of ways. Um, but there was this one lady who was trying to break in as a director, and she was a terrible director. She was a terrible writer, and she wanted to be a director. Anyway, she when the new series of Game of Thrones came out one year, she was like, "Oh my God, Game of Thrones! I can't believe not one female director." That particular season was like 80% directed by women. She was just trying to make a story to get, I don't know, infamy, so that Game of Thrones or some other show would hire her. It was never going to happen. She never got hired by anything, and it was kind of embarrassing. And I was the one who called her up on it. So there you go. Don't say shit on the internet if it's not true. I also was just not respectful to the women who were directing it. So anyway, there's my film business story for the day. Goblin Buglik says, I don't watch anything while it's still fresh enough to be on a Pepsi can or a chip bag. That's interesting. I like that. Ryan says that's a good rule. I agree. Richard Clark says, I'm actually watching a timeline of Gollum's travels on the Need for Rings channel while waiting for Dave. Well, there you go. See, lots of things you can do while you're waiting for 3 Chord Dave Live to happen. If you're me, you could just like pour beers out, sit here thinking that you're not live on YouTube when you are. Stuff like that. It's all good, text someone, answer an email, that sort of thing. Glenn says, yeah, I'm usually many years behind when it comes to watching things. Scott says, yeah, Gremlins 2 was everywhere. I was excited for it. I didn't like it. I mean, if you're holding the whole movie industry responsible for Gremlins 2, I think you should let it go. It's been a long time. We've moved on. But so I'm more forgiving of it now. But Gremlins 2 was pretty awful. My favorite part is Hulk Hogan getting out of his chair in the movie theater to say, hey, I'm watching the movie. Whatever it is he says. It's pretty funny. Then a really good looking guy called 3 Chord Dave says, well, if we're talking about movies, you should all sub to Carl's channel. Of course, Carl being my brother, and he puts a lot of work into his movies. He's just shy of 1,000 subscribers, has been for a while. So if you haven't subscribed to Carl's channel, please just go and do it. And get him over that 1,000 mark. He makes really good videos about movies. That bit about him giving out free cookies may or may not be true. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention. Glenn says, come to the dark side. We have cookies. Cookies, guitars. Let's talk about those two things. Those are two great things. Scott Bogfoot says, what I imagined in my mind was that from what was on a bag of chips was far better than the actual movie. For Gremlins 2, I mean, you have to be in the mood for it, I think. Fast and Furious, the first 3 or 4 are pretty good. Then it got ridiculous. I still watch them though. I haven't seen any Fast and Furious movies. Maybe that's as criminal as not watching a Star Wars movie. I don't know. Glenn says Carl's is a really good channel. Thanks for that, Glenn. I do think it is myself. I'm a big fan. What kind? Any raisins? Sure, if you want them, why not? They're fake cookies anyway. Ryan says, yeah, Carl's good. Peanut butter with chocolate chip is where it's at. Raisins can F off. It is disappointing when you go for a cookie and there's raisins in it. Like, what the hell? Raisins are poison. Interesting remark there. But no, Marcus here says, hey, folks. Glenn says, what the F? It's the giant head. Help. Yes. Well, there you go. Don't worry. If Money H2O was here at any point, he will clip that and I'm sure use it on the Facebook group. So if you missed. Anyway, thanks to Apple for putting a shitty camera in their MacBook. And I can say that now that I don't work for them. So thank you. Ryan says, thought Dave was about to kick off freestyle. Yeah. I bought a crate of MREs and the dessert was all raisins. I'm still mad 6 years later. Raisins are not a dessert. I mean, all right, Buglips. You know, it's time again. It's 6 years later. It's time to move on, man. It's all good. There's many more things to be pissed off with in the world today, I am sure. Corey's here. Great to see you, Corey. Hope you're doing well, man. Says, hey gang, hope everyone had a great week. Don't forget to hit all those buttons for Dave. Glenn says, can you see me now? Nope. Yes, you were all. I was oblivious to the fact that I was live on YouTube at that point, guys. So thanks. It didn't. Just Ecamm. I hate it, man. It's so bad. It used to be great when I started. Now it's awful. So Ecamm, if you're watching, you just lost a customer. And anyone who's watching this stream, don't ever use Ecamm for your live streams. Anyway, wanted to mention also, YouTube this week decided to be a bit of an asshole. So uploaded my video on Thursday and it was fine. It was ready to go. I uploaded it around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The live stream was supposed to happen at 8. Or sorry, the premiere was supposed to start at 8. And there's plenty of time. It takes about 3 minutes to upload the videos. So it's not a problem there. It was uploaded, so 100% complete. And then it put it out that it was going to be live. And then YouTube just didn't put the video on YouTube for some reason, and they didn't tell me. So I do apologize if any of you were waiting around on Thursday for the video. It was supposed to go live, but YouTube effed up. That's the only thing I can think of. So what had to happen was yesterday I had to delete what they had on YouTube, which was still showing up on my end. I had to delete that and then re-upload it again. Again, it took about 5 minutes and I ended up putting it on a little bit later yesterday, but it did do quite well actually yesterday. So happy with that. You know, those new Epiphones look cool, but I also don't understand why they're releasing them. But I do like they're adding gig bags at least. It's a little bit of something with Epiphones for the more money, but it's you're paying for it because you're paying more money. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. It was a fun one, and I know I got to make more videos and put them out on YouTube. YouTube's annoying the crap out of me. It's purging subscribers from the channel by the looks of it. We've dropped below 7,300, which we've been over for quite a while now. So I don't know, stuff like that happens. It's very discouraging, and I don't know why it's happening or how it's happening. So, yeah, it's all I can say is I'm going to try and put out more videos over the next few weeks and see will that combat it. Things like the video last night doing quite well was encouraging, and I'm happy with that. So if you can, just in the next couple of weeks, try and watch the videos if they come out, if you see them. So make sure your notifications are turned on. Make sure you hit the like button as well. That'll maybe turn things around on YouTube. Make sure everyone's hitting that like button at all times. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, then be subscribed. That'd be fantastic, and I would thank you for it. Also, if you're here right now and it's your first 3 Chord Dave Live and you've never commented, make sure you press the subscribe button. You have to be subscribed for 1 minute before you can chat to us. So do that for us. That'd be super cool. And then say hello, because, you know, all the people here are cool, except for me, probably. But but I'm the only one with a microphone, so you got to just listen to me anyway. Richard Clark says, anyone who ate raisins before 1911 are all dead. 90% of juvenile delinquents have eaten raisins. It's an interesting statistic. Butterfly Effect is here. Good to see you, Butterfly Effect. Hope all's good, man. Saw you in the Toman live stream yesterday. I was trying to win a guitar, and they failed. They did a fail on their thing, on their giveaway technique. Which, if anyone was watching, you know what happened. They asked how many live streams were on their channel, and they meant how many videos were in their live stream playlist. Those are 2 different numbers. So anyway, lots of people were pissed off with them, which they shouldn't have been, because I was the first one with the correct answer. But so I should be the one pissed off that I didn't win a Joe Bonamassa signed guitar. I'm not, because whatever, it's all good. I was only going to give it away on this channel anyway, so you guys should be pissed off with Homan for doing their giveaway wrong. DMAC is here. Says, hey all, got home in time for a 3 Chord Dave after driving 24 hours across the 8th province of Ontario. Canada is big effing country. Wow, man, that's cool. Thanks for dropping in to see us after such a drive. That would be exhausting. So thanks, man, for popping in. Hope you're good. Yeah, all you guys realized I had no microphone. Yeah, that's eventually got it all figured out, and here we are. Yeah. These are the things like I'll never forget or live down that time I was talking for 10 minutes with no microphone. And I'll probably forget this one either. Constant sources of embarrassment. I'll wake up with sweats in the middle of the night thinking about this, but there you go. Uh, Benny Larson's here. It's always great to see Benny. Hope you're doing well. Benny, it's great to see you, as I said. T says his lips move, but I can't hear what he is saying. Yeah, and it wasn't important. Was I talking? I was talking to myself, complaining about something. Don't worry about it. Yeah, probably the stuff on my screen. Actually, oh God, never mind. Dave lost his voice again. Now, thankfully, that's working. It was just low volume. No sound, but the beard looks good. Thanks, Glenn. That's going to keep you out of timeout today, I think. William Forrest says, yo, dudes and dudettes. Indeed, great to see you, William. Always great. And we got back to sound and picture. We've seen everything good now. Great. Okay. We're back to where it's working. All right, not too bad. 24 minutes, and that's where we are. All right, sweet. Carl said you owe me cookies. Glenn, he probably would say something like that. So there you go. Buglip says, I love Hobgoblin. I have a figure of me made with Reaper miniatures loosely based on the beer Hobgoblin. There you go. Anyway, good stuff indeed. Can you hear me now? Says Benny. Yes, indeed. Oh, you had the music, T. Fantastic. I wasn't sure, so that's great. Buglips says they do, but I'm an actual production figure. I'll be at a retail soon ish. Well, interesting stuff. I have a prototype. I look great. This is interesting news. We need to know more about this when it happens, for sure. Dennis Hopper died. Yes, indeed. That's true. That was a while ago, right? Anyway. Well, Butterfly Effect. Thanks for sharing. Buglip says the Donner is doing much better with new strings and work. Still a little sketchy past the 12th fret, but dialing it in. 300% better guitar. Sounds pretty decent. Good. Glad to hear it, man. That's cool. Super cool. Ryan says John Wick is good. And I have a personal history with John Wick that none of you know about. And I'm not going to go into it in a live stream. But let's just say I have reasons why I don't like the fact that that's on the 4th movie, maybe the 5th one. I don't know. Great movie. First one was great, and I think it's great because of what happened. But anyway, long story short, I'll tell you some other time. It's not for right now. Someone disliked me not telling the John Wick story. I tell you what, I will tell you the John Wick story in an hour, and just before we quit, just before we finish, I will tell you. So stick around till the end and I'll give you a John Wick story, which you won't believe, but it's genuinely true. Anyway, it's a fun one. The Asian Redneck's here. It's always great to see the Asian Redneck pop in. Says, howdy y'all. Hope everyone's well. Can't stay the full time, but I'm glad I could catch it live for the first time in a while. We're glad you could drop in as well, Asian Redneck. Good to see you. It always is. Glenn says, I won't last the show without getting in some kind of trouble. That's true. I feel like that about me every week. But there you go. Thankfully, I have all the buttons that control things. Richard says, the first one was the first time that slow fight effect came out that really blew people's minds. Richard, The Matrix. Yeah, 100%. That was phenomenal. That was one of the things that made me want to get into movie making back in the day when I wanted to get into it. So yeah, it was really cool. The interesting thing about that is they actually created that using several cameras. Don't know how many cameras, but they weren't like spectacular cameras. They were quite low budget ones. I say low budget in terms of film cameras, like movie cameras. They were very low budget. They were like Canon 7D, I think they used, which was about $1,500 at the time, but they used like 20 of them to get that shot. It's an interesting little thing. I could bore you for half an hour talking about it, but I won't. Buglip says, I'll get you Buglips of your own, Bugfoot. I'll hook you up. Buglips, Bugfoot. I mean, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on over there. in that part of Canada. Dennis Ellis is here. Great to see you, Dennis. Hope you're doing well, man. Ryan says, I do plan to watch Star Wars someday. That seems like one I could get into. The thing is, Ryan, they're adding more and more to it all the time. And now you've got, how many movies? There's 10 movies now? 9, 10 movies? Something like that. Maybe there's 12. Some of them are a lot better than others. Some of them, some people love, some people hate. The originals are still, for me, the gold standard. And then there's some TV shows, and again, some of them are really good, some of them are okay, and some of them are not so good. And then there's all the animated stuff, which is ties into this stuff, which is there's literally a whole universe of content. It's really good. You don't need to watch it all though. The main movies are the things to get stuck into. I would still, if I hadn't seen Star Wars today, I would advise someone to just still watch them in the order they were released. Watch the 1977 A New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back, one of the greatest movies of all time, and then Return of the Jedi. Then you can go back and watch the prequels the way all of us did, episode 1, 2, and 3. If you get past episode 1, 2, and 3 are not too bad. Don't bother with the other ones. 5, or is it 7, 8, and 9? Yeah, don't bother with them too much. Richard says the best thing about Star Wars was it's a true story, filmed on location as well, which is great. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Scott says, I saw a pic of Rat Nasty. I don't know if I want to dig into that too much. Nella's here, says, yo, good to see you, Nella. Hope you're doing well, man. And Ryan says, it's not based on a true story. Richard, don't be ridiculous. It's based on a true story. Based on a true story. The difference between being a true story and based on a true story is actually significant. So it's a good point to bring up there, Ryan. Well done. Buglip says, yeah, I named that Donner Rat Nasty and drew a rat skull and crossbones on it. Classed it right up. Sounds classy. I mean, you know, that's just gonna roll past that one. Glenn Bailey says, so The Matrix is a future history documentary. Future history documentary. Indeed, why not? It could be. If you get into it philosophically, it could wreck you. But there you go. That's from my completely non-philosophical mind. There you go. Richard says, yes, glad it's based on a true story. I love you guys. You're so funny. Ryan says, just ordered a custom Dumble style amp. Should have it for February 2024. That's cool, Ryan. And none of us are jealous of you in any way whatsoever. Not one tiny bit. But yeah, that's super cool. Can't wait till February to find out how it is. My knees hurt says 80s metal rules. And yeah, I like 80s metal. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I agree. Marcia's here says, I'm here. I've had my hands full all week with Huey. This week was giving him meds. And now I'm trying to get him to chew an antler. He totally loses interest once the marrow is gone. He knows what he's up to. Yeah, good stuff. Great to see you here though, Marcia, for sure. My knees hurt says, howdy folks, sipping on kilt lifter again. Do I have a 6er of Irish Death in the fridge? Interesting. Glenn says, I made $125 selling that Gibson. It was okay, but I really didn't feel like dumping mods into it. The guy I sold it to has been modding Squires and wanted to try something different. Very cool. Yeah, you know, but that's the thing with Gibsons. If you go and buy a Gibson, buy it as something to mod. Don't expect it to be a Gibson quality. It's not. I mean, essentially, what they're doing is just ripping off Epiphones. So there's still rumors going around that they're made in the Epiphone factory. Like the staff go in when they're not supposed to be there and just make guitars, or they're factory seconds that get churned out at such a high pace that they can sell them. And so whatever Gibson have done at any point, or Epiphone have done, they can churn them out there as well. So who knows what's actually happening, but there's a lot of people have different stories on where Gibsons are made and how they're made and all that sort of stuff. The only thing I can say for sure is that they're not Gibsons. My knees hurt says, I saw Star Wars in 77, wasn't really into it. Man, everyone was into it in 77. What happened? Scott Bogford says, if I had a Gibson, I'd want the headstock to say something like Lei Ping model or something like that. You know, I get you. And I believe actually they will accommodate you by getting a custom name on the headstock rather than it saying Gibson. They will make one for you, whatever name you want, but you have to pay extra. Of course, you got to pay extra for the and wait a little bit longer. But yeah, I agree that would be one way to go for sure. There's plenty of guitar companies out there who will replicate a Gibson for you as well, who are not based in China. They would be what do you call them? Like, there's all kinds. Loads of companies, loads of boutique guitar companies are willing to do it. Small luthiers will do it. Look, the likes of like what Chris Derrick and so forth were doing in California back in the day. There's still people out there doing that for sure. Marcia says, let me go post on Twitter. Hang on, be right back. Did you all hit the thumbs up and an angry face? Which is worrying. But yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up or Marcia will come get you. She's trying to get that promotion to mod on the channel, so she's got to tell you. Moneyzer says, I spent way too much time putting hooks in the wall so I can hang a comforter, trying to make the room a little more dead. Well, hey, hopefully it's all going to work. Moneyzer says, I think a male versus female thing has been going on since day one. It's the last 10 years in that industry. It's got worse. The whole like literally, if a show has 12 episodes and 7 of them are directed by a male, then there are certain ladies who will be, or females I should say, who will be up in arms, be like, why is it not 50-50? Why? And then like the next season could be split the other way and they don't complain then. They're like cool with that. The whole industry's gone a little bit. I get the point and I see the point and I do agree there should be equality and all that sort of crack. But at the same time, as long as everyone gets a fair shake, that's the problem. Victory Crosby says, hello, 3 Chord Dave and rockers. Roller wrenches? Rock and roller wrenches. Yeah, good stuff, man. Victory, hope you're doing well. Manizer says, I'm making tamales today. Made the sauce, pinto beans and masa dough. I need to fill my freezer with foods. I think I had tamales once. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not the most exotic of eaters. I'm Irish. A very plain diet. Richard says, my knees hurt too. My knees hurt. I actually just put in a curtain rod on the wall to hang curtains in my studio and no window wall. On no window wall. Simple. There you go. And Bug Lips, I keep forgetting to tell you I've seen something on YouTube that made me think someone stole a story idea you had. That's from Scott Bogfoot. And we'll talk more about stealing story ideas in a little bit, as I said, right at the end of the show. Anyway, actually, I don't think I should say that story on YouTube. Well, I'll think about it as we go. Manizer says, great idea. I'm dumb. I just had 4 hooks in the wall and a comforter. We'll use small clips to hold the comforter to the hooks. Sounds like that'll work. Nella says, Mars Attacks was horrible. The cast was great, but it was bad. Manizer says, lies. I love that movie. There you go. See? So what I love about it is we can all have different opinions. I don't think I've seen that movie, to be honest. At least not in a long time. T says, Ryan, nice one. I've been looking into getting a new amp for a while. Came across a crew in Italy, Atom Amps. Apparently they make a good Dumble style amp. What did you get? And Scott says, anyone new here, you'll have to subscribe and wait for 1 minute before you can chat in the best chat on YouTube. Adhere to. T says, what about Star Trek? Well, you had to ask. No. I was never a big Star Trek fan. Got into it a little bit when I was a teenager. Because my dad had all the original series on VHS. And VHS was state of the art back then. And yeah, one of my friends and we got really into it, the new generation or the next generation or whatever that was called, with Patrick Stewart and all those dudes. And then, yeah, the movies never kind of excited me. I thought they were kind of poor. And even the newer ones I've watched, the new movies, and still don't think they're great. What interests me is I've read many a time Quentin Tarantino saying he'd love to do a Star Wars movie or Star Trek movie. And if he did, I think it would probably be the greatest movie of all time. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen now, but I would love that to happen. But yeah, not really a Star Trek dude. Buglip says, I will never move on. I'll take the raise and hate to my grave. All right, man, that's cool. That's cool too. Just trying to help you out, bro. But I see your side. I see your side. I love that, man. That's cool. Ryan says, I went to a local Toronto guy called Amp Guy. That's the guy to go to for your amps. I've played a few and they're really good. I've seen the Adam stuff, top notch. Yeah, I'm not really the amp dude, so I don't know. I'm the amp guy, I suppose, even. But yeah, that's something I definitely need to get into. I definitely need to get more into pedals and more into amps at some point. I live in an area where it's not really like my neighbors are like 6 foot that way, and my other neighbors are like 12 feet that way. So it's not really conducive for having a decent amp setup. So yeah, at some point I will get into all that sort of stuff. And I know I have no room. Like this room, what you see here is kind of the room I have for my guitar setup. It's not great. So I need a better environment for everything. And then I'll get into amps and pedals, I promise. And you guys will have to suffer it watching me trying to figure it out. Nella says, hopefully Dave wasn't tubing when he didn't know he was on camera. I presume that means was something that I wasn't doing. For sure. Glenn says, I'm holding a grudge from 30 years ago. Moving on is hard. I don't hold grudges. I just never forget. Ryan says, I've looked into 2Rock and Amp Nation, but you can get one made for less than half the price, custom colors, etc. Yeah, 2Rock are like, people are going nuts for 2Rocks, and yeah, they're crazy expensive. So that's about as much as I know about them, to be honest. They sound great for sure, but yeah. Victory says, stage right 100-watt all tube, very good tones and headroom, new $650, a bargain. Very cool. Sounds, I mean, 100 watts for $650. That's pretty interesting. Glenn says Dave was doing some funky moves when he didn't know we were watching. I was. Actually, usually right before I removed the thumbnail, I'm not even on camera. Like, I'm not sitting in the seat. I'm usually in the next room. But anyway, here we go. There we go. That's production secrets. Today I decided to be different. What can you do? Thanks to the person who was texting me. It's their fault. Because I was sitting here and I was like, I'll just stay here. Anyways, rolling on. Lost a load of comments again. The things that happen on YouTube during a live stream. Where was I? There I was. Victory. Talking about that amp. There we go. What about new Rev Combo amp? The Rev Combo amp is very stylish. That's about as much I know. Like, it looks cool. It's about as much as I would say about it. Nella asks, did Glenn get your Firebird sorted out? That's a great question. Glenn, let us know what happened with that. Cushman NYC is here, says, hey Dave and everyone. Good to see you, Cushman. Hope you are drinking some Rollin' Rock and having a good time. And if you're not drinking Rollin' Rock, still hope you're having a good time. Maniser says, I hate grapes and raisins. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I don't get the grape hate. It's all good. It's all good. Doug Up Dandy says hello. Hello, Doug Up Dandies. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us on 3 Chord Dave Live. Let me see. Ryan says, I haven't seen the new Rev Combo. I played a few of their amps before and liked them. I'm the wrong guy for talking about amps. I either like it or don't. That's usually enough. That's all I need to know. Glenn says, no, I ordered a set of Gibson knobs. The nut I glued up and I'm very happy with it. Feels and sounds great. Well, there you go. That's all you need. Awesome. What are you doing with the backplate? Have they ever did they reach out and say, hey, give us back that Epiphone backplate for the Adam Jones guitar, or you get to keep it for free? Victory says, I just stomped to the like pedal. Thanks for the reminder. Nice. It should be a pedal, actually. We should have custom like buttons. That would be YouTube. That's another thing I want you to do. Custom like buttons so that it looks like a guitar pedal. That would be sweet. Robert is here. Great to see you. Robert says good morning. As always, wherever you're in the world, hope life is good. Indeed, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us on your Sunday morning down there in Australia. Super cool. Actually, something that you guys I don't think know as well. It's full of stuff you don't know this week. Every Sunday I chat with my friend who is from Australia, my friend James, who We chat every Sunday morning for me and Sunday evening for him. And this week I know he and some of my other friends from there were in a bar and having a lot of fun on Friday night because they were sending me pictures, and I was in work and I was quite jealous. But yeah, yeah, it's great having friends from all parts of the world because they will drive you crazy when you're in work and you can't join them for beers. But yeah, Australia is one of my favorite places I've been to, and thanks for joining us from all the way down there tomorrow morning. Think about that. Glenn says new people need to be subscribed for 1 minute before you can chat and 3 minutes to qualify for a timeout. I mean, Glenn, you're the only person who's ever had a timeout on this channel. That's your plaque of honor right now. But we'll see. Now it says, Glenn Bailey, cool. I really like mine. Glad you like yours. Epiphone sending you the Adam Jones backplate is hilarious. It is. Captain Bufo Alvarius says butt lips. Okay. I don't know what that's in relation to. Did I say something? Possibly. Marcia says, okay, Dave. Okay, back. Dave should be whining to Tom, and maybe they'll give him another guitar to give away if he explains what he planned to do with it. Companies love generosity. Nah, I would rather not mess with Tom, and they treat me so well. So there's no point in annoying them. Yeah, it's, because whenever I contact them, they always answer me really quickly. They're always super cool. And if I have a problem with something I bought, they just take it back. They're sweet. The reason I buy 90% of my guitar stuff from Thomann is because they're brilliant. And I'm not sponsored by them. I do have affiliate links for a lot of products and stuff like that, and I put on videos and things. And you can check those out in videos. I don't even know how to redeem those points, because that's what happens. You get points. So I've had those affiliate links for 3 years. I've never redeemed anything, and I don't know how to. So I just love Thomann. It's my dealer of choice. They do a good job. Anyways, Ryan says, was that in Rain Man? And I guess it was. Mar says, Dave has all the buttons, but he definitely doesn't have full control over them. People have been saying I don't have full control over things for a long time. Yes, you're correct. Glenn says to Nella, if you could have seen the look on my face when I opened that package, I kept looking at it like there has to be a knob in there, right? Yeah, I can imagine. That's pretty funny. Mar says, yeah, so did you let someone know, Glenn, or are you worried to ask for it back, or you just buy another knob for yourself? Buy yourself another knob, in fact. Say what you said. That sounds like a rude statement, but hey, it's fine. Victory says, spaghetti Western films like Tarantino did were wild. Indeed, you're 100% correct. Nella says, Glenn, order a backplate. Maybe I'll send you the rest of the guitar. So there you go. Dave is buttoned challenge. Sometimes he needs to drink more before he starts hitting the buttons. This close to a timeout, Glenn, I'm telling you. I like the original Spaghetti Westerns, Man with No Name series. If Lee Van Cleef isn't involved, I'm not interested. Those were great movies. Yeah, very cool stuff indeed. Those Italian movies. Money's Hurt says, I can get into movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but not Star Wars type films. I mean, that's a fun movie. The Toxic Avenger series, now we're talking. Yeah, I read a book once by Lloyd Kaufman. He's the guy who made all those movies, and it's so funny. I think the book was even called Make Your Own Damn Movie or something like that. It's a pretty funny guy, very cool. Really enjoyed those movies. So just for how hilarious they are. Glenn says to Marsha, I did send him an email for backplate for another guitar, so I'm curious what will happen. Victory says Toxic Avenger is almost monster porn. It's almost actual porn at times as well, but I think they cut those scenes out. Nella says when he's heard Killer Clowns from Outer Space was better than Mars Attacks. I said it. I stand by it. Wow. I mean, there's probably other people who think that too. I can't really remember Mars Attacks. Was Jack Nicholson in that? I think, or Pierce Brosnan. One of those like super famous people, maybe. I don't know. Mars says, let us know because it's damn hilarious. That's for the backplate. Yeah. If you don't know, Glenn got a backplate when he ordered a replacement knob instead. So still trying to figure that out with his Epiphone people, Sweetwater people, whoever it was. Anyway, Ben Allmark says, who did you order the amp from, Ryan? Amplified Nation, or just in case Ryan didn't see that, he ordered it from a local guy, he said there. John Brad is here. Great to see you, John. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And Marcia says, I mean, how did they confuse an artwork backplate for any other? Maybe they're just giving them out for free. If you complain about something, you get an art collection backplate. Epiphone's new customer service policy. Who knows with Epiphone? And just in case, just because there was that dude yesterday on the video who was like, Dave's negative about Epiphone. I'm not negative about Epiphone. I quite enjoy Epiphone guitars. I think they're great. I think they're making good guitars, and I enjoy where they're going. I think they could do more. And as a commentator on YouTube, I think it's my duty to say you could do more. And I am critical of their pricing structure, but I'm not negative about Epiphone as a guitar company. And I like having fun with Cesar on Instagram. But but the dude hadn't even seen the video, and he was like, Dave's going to eat his negative words. What the fuck was that all about? Because he hadn't even seen the video. I could have been saying these are the greatest things of all time. Anyway, don't be that guy. Wait until the video's over and then put your negative comment in the comment section. That's totally fine. I can't even remember that guy's name. Whoever it was, if you're watching, don't be that guy. Just be better. But hey, it's all good. Rant over. Until I remember it again in 15 minutes. Anyways, Victory says most first acts are better than Gibson. There we go. Yeah. Good point. Scott says, any idea what will be included with the Epiphone DG? I'd expect it to be the same as is included with, say, a Bonamassa or an Adam Jones guitar, or who else has had a big, like a Slash, maybe? I mean, there's nothing with those, the Jerry Cantrells or the Matt Heafys. You're going to just get the guitar, a nice case, and that's it. I would imagine. Can't see them doing anything far beyond that, to be quite honest with you. But you're going to get a really good guitar. I'd be surprised if they cheap out on any aspect of the guitar, and that includes the pickups. I think they've learned their lesson now on the expensive guitars with lower end pickups. Lower end just meaning, I mean, look, nobody's going out and saying, I want to buy Pro Bookers for my Les Paul Standard or my, whatever guitar, but they will buy Gibson pickups, and that's why Gibson need to put on the higher end version of their Epiphones, they need to put Gibson pickups. There's nothing wrong with Pro Bookers, they're quite good, but if you're paying big money, you need to be getting top quality parts, and they need to take that into consideration. So I think very much those Dave Grohls, when they come out, they'll kind of be, I think, on a par with the Carina Flying V's and Explorers they brought out recently, which are top notch from all accounts, unless you're Colin from Guitaristas, in which case they come with a pre-broken headstock. But you can fix it. And by the way, if you haven't seen Colin's latest video, he's selling some guitars, and you should buy them because they're great. And also, please buy that gold top, because I don't want to buy it myself, but I'm quite tempted to. Anyway, I'm trying to actually hold on now for the Dave Grohl Epiphones. That's what I want to do, but I also have a lot of other things I want to do, so we'll see. T says, I got myself a few tools. I have an old Guild Madeira, and acoustic needs some work. Have to level and crown the frets. An Epiphone outfit needs a fretboard oiled, and frets need polishing. Sounds like you got a busy weekend ahead, T. It's all good stuff, though. Dennis says, I want a Gibson before you can't get one anymore. Better hardware and you're there. Dennis, I don't know about the whole can't get one anymore. I think from time to time they go, the authorities, wherever you might be, go on a bit of a, what do you call it, like the crackdown, and then they just forget about it. So yeah, it's possible. It's true. Guitars can be confiscated. It's a risk you take if you buy a Gibson from one of the websites that sells them. 99% of the time they're going to get through, to be honest with you. And all they would really have to do to get through is put a different name on the headstock. So if you do ask for that, it'll get through to you. But yeah, honestly, the Chinese folks will find a way to get them through everything. They'll create all kinds of loopholes and everything. So the only thing is, like, you can end up paying quite a bit in taxes as well. I think you guys in the US are okay for that, but yeah, here sometimes they can be extortionate, the tax people. Anyways, that's just a whole other conversation. Glenn says, Marsha, I never contacted him, just ordered a set of knobs and the backplate is on display. Is on the display. There you go. That's what you need. Right, says, I think mine, a 20-watt head and a 2x12 cab green suede was 3,300 or so. That sounds like a pretty decent amount for that. What we got here? T says, first time trying this stuff. I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, do T. That sounds cool. Once you get the first time out of the way, it's easy after that. Talking about fixing guitars, I mean. Anyways, let's see. Marcia says, by the way, posting on Twitter really works. 10 people jumped on here. Imagine if we all posted on social media with guitar-related hashtags. It takes just a second and is super easy. I told you, she's after that mod promotion. We'll see what happens. Let me see. Victory says, thanks, Chord Dave. You're very welcome. Marcia says, anyone, actually, now there's more, but it was 10 more moments later. Hey, listen, some people just come because they like hanging out with Chord Dave. That's what happens there. Ben says, what sad times. We can't even say what we feel. BS. I mean, we can, but you gotta be prepared for the backlash or the return or whatever. Maybe not backlash, but the conversation that it creates. I don't really want to those conversations anymore. I used to jump into them all the time. I don't care enough now. Money's says, I'm also making a new handle for a Mesa amp, leather wrapped around metal. The amp weighs 65 pounds. It's not my amp, hand stitched. That's quite an amp. Grandpa Joe's here. Great to see you. Grandpa Joe says, greetings, Dave, and everyone here. Hope you're all doing well. Indeed. Scott says, hit the like button so we can hear that story as a reward. Indeed. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a target because I kind of don't know if I should tell the story because it's well... anyway, 40 likes, I'll tell the story. If we don't hit 40 likes, I'm not going to tell the story. So if you haven't hit the like button, it's your fault. John Brandt says, does anyone recommend guitar picks that chirp and click less than others? I hate the chirping noise. That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. My own picks. I have a lot of picks flying around here that I picked up at NAMM. There's one of them I'm supposed to talk about at some point. I'll make a video about picks, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, I do feel sorry for some people who try to get into the pick making business because they're given away for free by all the companies. Anyway, I don't know the answer, John, but I don't really notice any, and I use all kinds. So maybe someone here will be able to tell you, though. Someone more knowledgeable than I. Ryan says, have you tried those clay picks? I think they're called Blue Chip or something. I have not. Let's see, where's one of those picks? There we go. Here, right here they are. So these are the ones that the dude at NAMM was like, hey, you could talk about these. They are called Anatomy of Sound. You can't see them, I don't think, too well. So they're called Anatomy of Sound. They're supposed to help you, like, if you've, I don't know, got arm pain and stuff. They're ergonomically designed and 3D printed. If you hold them this way and you look at them, they kind of look like a butt. If someone was... Anyway, they kind of look... Anyway, it's a whole thing. They're nice. They're nice picks. They're just a little bit unusual and different. The dude's trying to sell like 3 picks for like $20, which is... I said to him at the time, like, picks don't cost nothing, so it's kind of going to be difficult to sell him. But hey, he's doing his thing. Yeah, anyways. Check them out anyway, Anatomy of Sound. He's got some more accurate description of what his picks are than sometimes they look like a butt, which is what I said. Anyway, Scott Bogfoot says, is the chirping just a byproduct of the edges not being beveled on the pick? That might be the case for sure. And Scott also says, nylon Jim Dunlop are the only pick I've ever jibed with. There you go. Glenn says, get a loud amp, Dave, and show the little bastard in the street how it's done. I mean, what I really want to do, one of my life goals is to be like Slash from the November Rain video, just stand outside, not connected to anything, but somehow music coming out of my guitar. like blasting sound and a helicopter flying around me in my housing estate. That'd be fantastic. I think everyone would pay attention to me then. Um, I just feel like the helicopter that would blow a beard into my face. So I got to come up with some way of weighting it down. Let's see. Let's see what happens. But thanks, Glenn. I do appreciate your confidence in me. Yeah, and also the disdain for the little bastard in the street because he's still at it. Yesterday was fucking horrendous. Anyway, I'll try calm down. T says I'd love to hear the soundtrack Quentin would pick for Star Trek. That would be sweet. The most swears in a Star Trek movie of all time, as an extra bonus and some cool vibes. I love the music in Tarantino movies. It's always great. It's not just like in the older stuff like the Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and stuff, but like yeah, like in his more recent movies have had great music, classical scores and everything. It's been really, really good. Quentin Tarantino, I think, is working on what he's calling his last movie. It's a middle finger to the business. Anyone else hear that? He's making a movie called The Movie Critic, which I think is, yeah, it's like whatever. The thing about Quentin Tarantino is he said Kill Bill was his last movie. Then he said Inglourious Basterds would be his last movie. Then he said, so he's gonna keep making movies because they're gonna keep throwing money at him. But yeah, I mean, I'll go see it. There's only one Quentin Tarantino movie I haven't seen, and I believe it's one of his better ones. Hateful Eight. I don't know why. I just have never got around to seeing that one. But sooner or later, one day. Glenn says, at least Dave had pants on while we didn't know we were watching because that camera angle was a little scary. Dude, you don't know. Okay, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Who can really tell? John says I brought a 3.0 gravity razor pick that I really like. Very cool, John. That's awesome. Marcia says my faves are Dunlop Gator Grip. Those are picks from a company called Acoustic Attack that are amazing. A friend got me a sample pack last year during a sale, and they're still going strong. They are barely showing anywhere. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Cushman says, love my ice cold Rolling Rocks. Well, slaunch it to you. And yeah, cheers. Jeez, an hour in already. Anywho's, rolling on from Rolling Rocks. Many says, Evil Dead series. Love those movies. There's the first one and the second one are kind of fun, yeah. I can't remember how many of them there are. I think there's a new one, which I haven't watched. Scott says, I hate Tortex, mostly because they make a mess. They do. They can, that's for sure. I just have picks all over the place. The great thing about NAMM is I restocked all the picks I'd lost over the last year. So if you ever want to get loads of free picks, go to NAMM. Robert says, I got myself a Bugera PS1 power soak yesterday. So far, very handy and very happy with it. Can crank the amp and keep the volume down. Check it out, Dave. Might help you out and not that expensive. Yeah, it's something I've looked into for sure. I think the main thing is I don't have the room, so because I've got shelving and stuff over here right behind the camera, just full. Then I got like half my lighting and stuff. I got all the landlord's furniture here. This is literally the free space I have, and this is where my office space. So I don't really have space for a decent size amp right now. But when I do move, whenever that might be, I know housing market in Ireland, as everywhere right now, is kind of crazy. So hopefully, in the next year, I will be able to move somewhere with enough room to have a decent size amp. But I'll definitely keep that in mind, Robert, and I appreciate your recommendation. Glenn says they never asked for the backplate back. Maybe, you know, the funny side is we're laughing about that, but somebody got some knobs. That's what happened. And they're like, what the fuck is this? Definitely 100%. Ryan says, I got the Acoustic Attack picks too. I ordered one kind, but they sent me a variety pack. Cost over $30. And I only like the one kind, the one I ordered. There you go. That's a bit, $30 for picks, is, especially when you like one, is a bit odd. It's very high. Marcia says, John, they're cheap and last a nice amount of time. I can usually use them for 3 months before needing a new one. And I'm a very heavy-handed, so might be longer for other people. Very cool. Yeah, 3 months is not that long. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hey, I don't know. I would lose one before 3 months is out. Usually what happens. Benny Larson says to Scott, Dunlop nylon picks for me too. They're the only ones I've been able to hold onto properly, especially on stage. Because of sweat. Sweat makes it harder to hold them for sure. T says, I think the cheapest 2-rock is $6,000, like everything else. They've gone up. Things sadly are going up a lot. Nella says, what's a good tuner pedal? Wait, you want to play in tune? What? Why? I don't use one, so I don't know. I just tune with, my ears and an iPhone app. Scott says, Dave, how do the landline phones ring in Ireland? One long ring like America or two short ones like the UK? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've had a landline. I think it's the same as the UK. Most things like that are the same as the UK. Correct me, Irish people, if you still have a landline. Why not? John says, I like the chicken pick shredder. There you go. Glenn says, I have a 20-watt Bugera. I'm very happy with the brand. They're supposed to be very cool, the Bugeras. Or is it Bugera? I don't know. Moneyser says, I recently found Jazz 3s, 3mm thick, to be good picks for me, and some other Jazz 3s that have knurling on them. Great for anti-slip. I think Glenn sent me some of those. Somebody sent me some of those at one point last year. And they're great. So yeah, I do appreciate that. And so I will not put you in timeout today, whether it was you or not, Glenn. Cat tongue are the right nylon material too, but sometimes too grippy. Interesting. Ryan says, I don't think I'd ever go for a 2-rock. It's not like they're made in small numbers or anything. It's factory made stuff. With $6,000 being the cheapest, yeah, I would question how worthwhile that is. But there you go. John says, FYI, Sweetwater has a sale on pedals. Good stuff. Thanks for that info, John. Do appreciate it. And T says, I was mistaken on that one. Hey, you're all good. And no worries whatsoever. Victory says, Power Soak gotta be better than Charmin stuffed in your nugget. Won't help your dental work. Maybe you should make a tube driven Power Soak. Maybe they should make a tube Power Soak. I mean, hey, that's, if it's better, then let's all go with that. John says, I can't stand cat tongue picks. Well, there you go. Each to their own, as they say. Scott says, Dave, will and when will the guitar market return to where you can negotiate price on brand new gear again? Seemed like years ago you could talk 20% out of anything. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I don't know, the best time that's going to happen is when there's a recession, like a big recession, like when everyone's hurting and guitar stores are not selling everything. They'll negotiate then. But right now, guitars are still selling like fucking crazy, so they don't need to. When will it happen? Yeah, it's when things start to take a dip in the guitar market, and it looks like right now it's very healthy, so it's not going to be an issue. Yeah, I mean, there's still places you can negotiate with, but you mostly with secondhand stuff or stuff they've had a long time. Yeah, some of the bigger places, I don't know if Sweetwater's ever been open to that, but some of the more local stores will probably be open to a little bit. But you're right. I mean, 20% seems like a lot, but for me, or maybe I just haven't been bold enough. But yeah, for sure, it should be possible. So one of the positives of a downturn in the economy for something like that would be if people stop buying guitars, we can get good deals again. Don't hold your breath, because it's going to be a while. Guitar market is kicking ass. And companies like Epiphone, Gibson, and so forth, putting their prices up and still selling record numbers. So, I mean, the only things that aren't selling are Adam Jones art collections. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't all come out the way they're selling. Because if you can't sell 800 of a particular model, are you going to bother putting out the other ones? Are you going to bother making them? I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, there should be one out next month. It should be like quite soon. We'll see. Yeah, there's been no, even my usual sources haven't even hinted at what the next one is going to be. So I'd expect that in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll see. William Mazzola says, is it this upcoming Tuesday we can expect the release of Epiphone? A beautiful black sparkle Dave Mustaine Flying V. It's the end of the month. And yeah, William, 100%. So yeah, last week I was saying it'd be Tuesday just gone. But I didn't realize that there was another Tuesday in May at the time. So yeah, Tuesday. It should be. I mean, yeah, Cesar has even come out and said that it'll be the end of May, or that it would be in May. So yeah, we're expecting the Epiphones and the Kramers. I've seen people even have orders placed already for them. So depending on who your dealer is, you should get them. It's $13.99 for the Epiphones and $12.99 for the Kramers. I know there's the Black Sparkle Custom is coming out on Epiphone, and the green, it's an Alien Green. No, what's it called? Rust in Peace Green. Is it or Alien Rust in Peace Alien Green? I don't know. It's coming into Kramer. Anyway, those two are definitely coming this week. There might be also a red one. I don't know. There's also rumors that there's a gold top Dave Mustaine Gibson Flying V coming. That might be a one-off artist one that is actually just causing a rumor, but there should be a gold top Flying V from Dave Mustaine, or with Dave Mustaine's name on it, at some point from Gibson this year. But I think, because you know what happens, they release Dave Mustaine models and then they do like 16 of them. So, but keep an eye, this Tuesday. And thanks, William, for dropping in. Always great to see you, man. William says, or not William, Scott says, screw Mars Attacks, get high and watch Earth Girls Are Easy. I mean, even if you don't get high, Earth Girls Are Easy is a fantastic movie, one of the greatest of all time. Well, maybe not greatest of all time. Benny says, Glenn, I have a Bugera in 1990. Quality is much better than I had expected, and it sounds exactly like it should. Well, there you go. If it sounds like it should, it's a success. Victory says, Time Bandits, Terry Gilliam movie, I think. Indeed it was. Very good movie. I think John mentioned that actually, as well. Yeah, very good movie, John. And Tank Girl. Oh, I remember Tank Girl. That was one of my... it was a special movie back in the day. Scott says, are there chibi phones? Chinese Epiphones. Well, as John, or as you say yourself there, Epiphones are chibi phones. There is a discussion on certain Epiphone groups online that say that there are fake Epiphones floating around, and then you get these experts popping in and going, that's a fake, this is a fake, here's why it's a fake Epiphone. Yeah, I believe there are fake Epiphones, but I don't understand really why, because they must be selling them for close to the price of an actual Epiphone. So who's going to buy them unless they're being sold as dupes? Like, people don't understand that they're fakes. And the thing to do that with that is either buy from a main dealer, or if you are buying secondhand, be careful. Just look it up. You can check Epiphone serial numbers as well as Gibson ones online. So, but yeah, I think there is. I don't really get why there is, but it'd be like if there's like fake Squires. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But there you go. Glenn says to Benny, I have an Infinitium. That's not a word, is it? Infinitium 20. I know that's what they call it, but I question whether they have used the right word. Infinitium 20. It's like Unobtainium in that ridiculous movie with the blue things running around. And I was surprised how good it sounds for the price. It's my first tube amp. Ryan says Andrew Becker, and that Andrew was the gentleman who was commenting quite negatively before seeing my video yesterday. Yes indeed. Thanks for that reminder, Ryan. And now here we are. Now I realize how far behind I am. We're still 15 likes away from me telling you the John Wick story, guys. If you want to know the John Wick story, we got to hit 40 likes. That's my challenge to you. And I'm gonna just take a moment as well, because as I said, I'm going to start a guitar company if we make $3,500 tonight. So you can buy a Lefty t-shirt. These t-shirts are going away this week. I'm taking them down in favor of something else, maybe. Lefties, righties, all catered for. Lamug, lefties and righties on both of them. Stickers. I say the stickers and I laugh because I just realized this week my take from a sticker is exactly 10 cents. So if you buy stickers, just know they're with love. But I do love the stickers. And when I ordered them, they didn't arrive. Thanks, Teespring. Why are all these companies terrible? What's going on, man? Anyways, rolling on. Thanks for that. And don't forget, if you want to watch videos early, Patreon's the place to do it. Today or this week, you would have got the YouTube video 48 hours before it was on YouTube. Victory says Firefly rivals Epis. I believe they probably do. A lot of people talk very positively about Fireflies, but I still have not got my hands on one. They are quite difficult to get them to ship to here, so at some point I will get one, but I don't know if I want to pay the customs fee for one just yet. John says if Gibson wants to sell a ton of Epiphone guitars, they should figure out how to make them under £7 as a buying point. For Les Pauls, yeah. It's an interesting thing because they do tend to be slightly lighter than Gibsons for the most part, but yeah, I mean they definitely could do something. Benny says Victory, if you haven't seen Brazil, I strongly recommend it. Also a Terry Gilliam movie. Yeah, Brazil's a very good film. John says Brazil is his favorite film. Very good. Glenn says I took a buyer for cash for my Gibson. I did have a trade-off for Jackson Rhodes. I thought hard, but it was black and white. It was black, and if it was white, I would have jumped on it. Well, there you go. Dave, what's the next Adam Jones guitars coming out? P.S. I don't really care about them. I'm intrigued by the marketing model. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've covered them all on the Facebook group at some point. I think we have them all pretty much done. It could be the one with Adam Jones's wife. What's her name? Karen. Could be Karen's first one. Karen Vaught. Yeah, I think it's her first one that we did. The one that there was pictures of on the actual Epiphone factory floor. I think that might be the next one, but I have no confirmation yet as to which one it is. As soon as I know, I'll put it in the Facebook group for sure. So make sure you're in the Facebook group, guys. Victory also says, yeah, it's weird in that way. I love Terry Gilliam stuff. His animation is epic. His animation has always been enjoyable for sure. Scott says, what's the guitar brand with the fleur de lis on the headstock? I don't know. Foreign languages is not good for me. So I don't know which one it is actually off the top of my head. John Brad says 12 Monkeys is a Terry Gilliam film. 12 Monkeys is a great film. Indeed. What have we got? Victory says 12 Monkeys was great and probably real. I didn't know Terry Gilliam did that one. Yeah, he did indeed. I mean, yeah, pretty sure. Scott says a few more here, mistakenly typing Three Gorges Dam incorrectly. Indeed, Scott. I'm sure that's what happened. Glenn says Benny Larson, my friend, bought a 5-watt Bagheera and kept telling me how good it was. I got the 20 and really like it. It's connected to a 2x12 with vintage 30s. That works. Benny says, oh yeah, with the morph knob. That's a pretty cool feature. I have something similar on my orange Micro Dark. Very cool. Dennis says, nice ass pics. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it, man. Marcia says, Anatomy of Sound, great name considering they look like ass cheeks. Indeed. Nice people. Really nice. I think they were... See, what happened to them was they were not right beside, but there was a door, there was them, and then there was a doorway, and then there was Chapman guitars. And everyone was going to Chapman guitars and not to them. Especially because there was famous people at Chapman Guitars nearly all the time, because Steel Panther were there, and then when Steel Panther weren't there, Danish Pete was there, and Rob Chapman and people like that were there all day. So on all the days. So anyway, that's your latest NAMM update from a month ago, whenever it was. Buglip says, wait, this isn't Three Gorges Dam. I mean, it might be. No one's really sure what it is. Ryan says, I use those clear gel picks, Dunlop maybe. Interesting, I don't know. I got to lay off the catnip. I mean, everyone should at some point, just for a weekend. Benny Glenn says, I have a micro. Terror is the micro dark heavy in gain. Richard Virginia says, Dick is in the house. Great to see you, Richard. Hope you're doing well, man. Victory says, I had to get up and take a look at my amp section to see if I had a Bugera, and I have the G20 head in a 2x12 cab. Never played it yet, but will soon. Victory, that is amazing that you didn't know it was there. But do play it soon and let us know what you think. Benny says Bugera makes much better amps than they get credit for. Is that the Harley Benton cab you're running it through? Hopefully. Anyways, Mar says, Dave, if the picks last a really long time and you're not the type to lose track of picks, it could actually end up being cost effective in the long run for people who burn through most pick materials. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I've just always got picks around. They appear from everywhere. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe people send me picks. I don't know where they come from. I haven't bought picks in a long time. Like, I can't tell you the last time I bought some picks. Yeah, but I have lots of them. Anyway, let's go. Dave, you should do a video explaining all the cool things and factoids about the GNR Estranged video. There's a lot of production and video technology used. I mean, the Estranged video is spectacular from the points of like Slash playing a Strat at one point, Duff playing the drums at one point. The Estranged video is great. I can't really make music videos or videos about music on the channel because they do fucking terribly. Like, 3 people watch them and one of those people is me. So yeah, they do really badly. The last time I made a video about anything music, specifically music related, was a Foo Fighters video and 16 people watched it. And I think it still has 16 views and that was 2 years ago. So yeah, probably not going to make any music videos at any point, or music videos, because they just don't do well. It's a complete waste of time. But anyway, so I won't do that. Not on this channel, maybe on a different channel, just dissecting music videos. But I do recommend the GNR Estranged video. Just take it, just watch it, freeze frame it, go through it. It's hilarious. In so many great ways. Nella says, Dave, did you see Death Proof? Hilarious ending. I did. I queued up to see it. Was super excited by both of those movies that came out, Death Proof and what was the Robert Rodriguez one? Grindhouse was the thing of them combined. Oh man, it's gonna Planet Terror. Is that it? Anyway, Robert Rodriguez released a movie at the same time. They put him on his double bill. It was fantastic. But yeah, Death Proof was great. I loved it. Quite the entrance, Richard. Virginia. I'm surprised you didn't shout about GHs whilst you were at it. All right. I'm trying to get away from the GH thing until I start my guitar company, in which case the very first guitar ever made will be called the GH Special. And there'll only be one of them made, one GH Special by Chord Dave Guitars or whatever. I don't actually know what I would call my guitar company, but it genuinely is something I'm considering doing, just because I feel like I need to do something for myself in terms of employment these days. So I'm seriously considering doing a guitar company. I need to skill up a little bit, but it'll be fine. I can do it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we won't be raising 3.5 grand tonight, and I'm sure it would cost a lot more than that as well. By the way, like 4, something like that. We'll see. Glenn says, "What the f isn't this? Isn't Three Gorges Dam? Damn it, I'm lost online again." Glenn, don't look that up. Anyway, Ryan says Death Proof was cool indeed. Nella says, random thought, how could the Modern be the best V? Could the Modern be the best V? It sits on one's lap, is different and cool in my opinion, and shaped like a V. So Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the V. The V is perfect as it is. When I bought my V, I was like, how am I going to play this thing? I don't know how to hold a flying V, especially when I'm sitting and so forth. Muddy H2O, the genius man that is Muddy H2O, told me exactly how to hold a flying V while sitting, and it's very comfortable once you get used to it. It's very cool to play, and I really enjoy it. So the Modern, I've never actually played a Modern. I do want one. Actually, I'll show you exactly what I want. The Modern. Yes, this one. This is, and it's not made by Gibson. It's only made by Epiphone. It was a limited release in the 90s. So if anyone knows what it is, put your answer in the comment section. Where is it? Let me get it here for you. Just 1 second. Here we go. All right, there we go. This is the exact Modern I want. They're super cheap. How much is this one going for right now? 365 euros. So I could, not to boast or anything, I could buy that at any time this year. But there we go. So that's a Mo Baby that came out in the 90s. Very interesting thing with a built-in speaker and everything. There's no output jack on these. As far as I don't think there's an output jack on them. But there is, there is a, I think it's a three-way switch, but I don't think it's actually a three-way switch. It's like an on and an off button or switch, I think is what it is, because you obviously only got one pickup. Very limited run. I'm not even sure if they came out worldwide, but that's the color I want too. The seafoam greenish. It's not even seafoam green, whatever it is. That color. Let's go with that. Anyways. Oh, and they're quite small as well. They're tiny little things. But I do not really want that. I'm just having fun. Anyway, rolling on. Where are we now? Modern. I do want to eventually pick up a Modern, by the way. But you know, they don't sell them right now, at least not in Europe, and the used ones are expensive. Victory says, I have a collection looking for a studio space while I'm loaded with gear, about to blow serious cash on trusses and lumber to enlarge my stage, going all out, looking for at a place next Tuesday. That's amazing. That is very cool. Yeah, something like that would be very sweet. Benny says, Glenn, the Dark Micro has just enough gain to do high gain. I bought it instead of a Micro Terror, mostly for the FX loop, and it was on sale. He says, Scott, I got 7% recently, but the guitar was a good few quid cheaper than in the shop. Then it worked out okay, around 12%. Not too bad. Ryan says, sorry, I should have said the acoustic attack picks were like $15, but then 17 shipping. Wow. I hate when things cost more for shipping than the actual thing. I told them they sent me the wrong kind and they wanted me to cover shipping to replace them. I hate when companies do that, man. That is awful. Yeah, recently had a big argument with a company over some clothing that was wrong because they sent me the wrong size and they wouldn't return it. Jerks. And if they were still in the UK, or if they're still in the EU, because these were the UK company, if they're still in the EU, they would have had to replace it, but they're not anymore, so they got away with it. And now I just never shop with them again. It's that easy. John Brad says to Scott Bogwood, stop confusing Dave with phone questions. Yeah, stop asking me what the phone rings like. I don't know. Richard says, Dave, what kind of telly do you have next to you? I have my Squire Affinity, not Affinity, my Squire 40th anniversary, this one, in Sherwood Green with gold anodized pickguard. It's a very beautiful guitar. I love it. I play this quite a lot, and you can see my Mustang Micro is plugged into it with no headphones at the minute, but that's my work guitar. Don't tell my boss. I say every week, and sooner or later one of my bosses is going to see this. But yeah, I do enjoy that guitar. I'm going to swap it out for my SG maybe this week, but it's a really, really nice thing. Those are going right now for like 329, I think. Definitely worth it. It's fantastic. I got a couple of cosmetic things on it, a couple of dings and stuff, just like ridiculous things. Like there's a, just, if I don't even know if I'd be able to show you. but there's a bit of a nick here on this thing for the truss rod thingy, which you cannot see, I believe. So yeah, but it's tiny, and there's a little bit of paint on the fretboard, which won't come off, just on the binding. But I haven't really tried too hard to scrape it or anything. But yeah, that's all. Great guitar, plays great, sounds great, feels great, and that's what it is. So yeah, hopefully though, and I was going to change it last week, and I was like, nah, I'll just keep the telly there for an extra week. So my SG is going to go back there. I do love my SG, and every time I go through these stages where I don't play my SG for a bit, and then I pick it up, and I'm like, oh, I love this guitar. So there we go. But that telly's great. Better pick up the pace a little bit. Nella says, I use whatever pick I find on the bathroom, on the floor near the amp. Why did I say bathroom? It didn't say bathroom floor. But anyway, it's been one of those nights. It's been one of those weeks. You never know what I'm actually going to say. Victory says, I used my girlfriend's fake nails as picks when I was poor. I mean, yeah, I've used all kinds of things. And laminated pieces of paper at my job and then like cut them up as picks. That worked for a bit. I have cut my bank cards, old bank cards, and used them as picks for a bit. Those are not great. Yeah, I use all kinds of things for picks down the years. But now I can afford picks. So it's great. I do. It's a good, I've never thought of this. Like, where do I get my picks from? Because I never buy them. But I seem to have hundreds of them. Anyway, Glenn says, he says that now, but I bet my fat ass will be in timeout soon. I'll slip up and say something like, what's up with the color blue? You're pushing it, my friend. Marcia says, Dave, I keep one of each type of pick in a plastic standing 3-sectioned paper clip holder. Don't lose them because they're easy to grab and I put back after playing. I do keep little plates and stuff like that around to put stuff in, and I don't lose stuff super easy. And I always have picks in my pockets as well. I always have I don't carry a wallet anymore. Because I don't usually have a lot of cash on me. But that's my wallet, like for example. But I keep picks in my pocket all the time and some coins, and that's about it. Yeah, but just like this desk, for example, is covered in picks. There's one here, there's 3 there, there's some over here. There's more over here on my work desk. There's probably some in there somewhere. There's more over there on the bookshelf. It's just everywhere. So yeah, I would recommend strongly though getting some sort of receptacle to put picks in and just stock them up, because I don't know, I think that's what it is. I think since having this space, this desk space, I just throw picks here and they're always there then. Ryan says, that's what a real guitarist would do, Victory, in terms of, yeah, actually your plan, it sounds great. Scott says, I got Fender finger picks, had a banjo, I learned one banjo tune, then gave it back to the original owner. Well, there you go. Sounds cool. Richard says, you can get discounts from most large outfits just by asking. But there you go. Yeah, I've never asked Toman for one, but I do buy their B stock from time to time, and they usually give good deals on those. Victory says, I suck on guitar, but I'm learning banjo and mandolin. I played a mandolin for a bit when I was really young, but anyway, yeah, guitar's always been my first love. Manisert says, I have a fiddle, we can be in a band. There we go, sounds great. 3-Chord Dave community band, why not? Okay, Nella says, I had to take my Vox AD30VT amp apart because there were 7 picks floating around in there. They slipped into the amp after I laid them on top of the knobs. Yeah, well, there you got them back, so that's cool. Glenn says, I usually get a discount from Sweetwater. I just ask if there's any discounts available. I usually get between 5 to 10%. That's okay, good to know. Sometimes people kind of don't ask anymore, I suppose. That's a very good point. Victory says, I got a Suzuki, but I can't play the fiddle. Ryan says, I saw it at John 5 Telly the other day at Steve's. Pretty cool looking, but not really for me. It's an interesting guitar. Yeah. I was close to making a video about it, but I just didn't. In the end, I just didn't get around to it. But It is a very interesting looking guitar. And I need to dig a bit more into it, but it looks cool. Yeah, I don't know if it could be for me either, though, to be honest. Mar says, my Dunlop Gator grips last 3 months. I've been using the same acoustic attack set for 1 year. I had a habit of grabbing the picks I want out of the paperclip thing and putting them back ASAP after playing. Okay, lost a lot of things here. Where are we? There we go. Okay, cool. Definitely not going to make it all the way through. I'll do my best though to get through all the comments, guys, especially the ones that are tagged with 3 Chord Dave. I will get to those. I'll read those out before we finish, just to be sure we get you all in. Glenn says, Ryan, that John 5 looks good, but it's pricey, but it comes with a case. It does, from what I can see. A nice, very nice case. The brand new picks are kept in a couple of cheap clear plastic organization cases, 15 slots in case I need a replacement, all that sort of stuff. Good plan indeed. T says, I recommended a guitar store to you to check out, but comment disappeared. I'll email it to you. All right, T, thanks very much. Yeah, the email is backed up right now, but definitely send it to me. I will get to it this week. I'm currently getting an awful lot of scam sponsorship requests, and I have to go through see which ones are genuine and which ones are not. So yeah, I'll definitely be going through the emails, so send me that. That'd be super cool. Dennis Ellis says, anyone seen the movie Naked Lunch? Strange. I might have seen a lot of movies, but yeah, not 100% Dennis, but if it's strange, probably have. Ryan says, yeah, it's a nice case, but it's pretty expensive in my opinion. They're sold out everywhere, but as far as I know, the one at Steve's is still there. There you go. Ryan says, oh, I remember Tank Girl. You don't forget Tank Girl. 3 Chord Dave, set up a new email for talking to you to YouTube channel people, so there won't be any spam shit, and you're getting the first email. Well, thanks, man. It's all good. My email just gets inundated with crap, but let me see. Oh, that's this is something else I get. Your iCloud is going to be deleted. Well, I don't have an iCloud related to that email, so don't worry about it. Let me see who else wants to sponsor me this week. Atkins Naturals, Positive Grid. Oh, that's a real one because I've been talking to them for a bit. Impact. Okay, Mobile Mint. They want to, or Mint Mobile. They want to sponsor us too. Anyway, I just have to get through all the emails. There's so many in there. Victory says, 8 heads in a duffel bag. Forget about it. Yeah, it's a very cool movie. Scott says, off topic, but Appleseed was and still is awesome animation. When did that come out? Like 05, 03? I don't know, man. But yeah, somewhere around there, probably. I love Pelham Blue guitars, says cheers all. I love black guitars, says cheers all, which is interesting because I wonder if I put that one user into timeout, will it actually block Glenn as well? I better not risk it. I got in trouble doing that last week or the week before. Anyway, Glenn, you're on thin ice, my friend. Victory says, it's my ear. I grew up hearing bluegrass. To the Grateful Dead, then Motown, which was completely alien, but I love it, and or to John McLaughlin's Mahavishnu Orchestra. Very cool. Indeed, yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to all kinds of stuff myself. All just music. It was just music was in the house all the time. So that's cool. Where are we now? A lot of comments gone missing on my flipping feed. There we go. Cute goth cousin. Hello all. I came for the enjoyment, but I stay because Glenn keeps getting tossed from the chat. Oh, Glenn, you are our favorite person called Glenn in the chat. At least favorite person whose name we know. There could be other Glens that we don't know, for example. But hey, so far. Mark Doolan says, hey dudes, is it me, or as soon as the weather gets nice, you get arseholes speeding around Cork this evening? On another note, I'm loving my new Boss GX100. Sounds great. Hey, Mark. Yeah, the weather brings out the assholes. That's for sure. Just for those of you who are not aware, we usually talk about the weather at the start of the show. The weather in Ireland this week has been phenomenally good down in Wexford. And in fact, if you guys know my the Gibson, because we talked about Gibsons earlier too, my Gibson Les Paul that I painted that I customed, the relic'd one, and I repainted myself. So I did finish that with nitro, and I have decided over the summer I'm going to try and age the nitro so that it turns faded. So we get some faded blue and gold on it. It's going to look fantastic. So I keep putting it out in the sun, and my neighbors think I'm an idiot. So anyway, each day this week I've just put a guitar out in the garden. Why not? It's all fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how that nitro ages on that guitar. I know it's going to take a while, but it might not even be done this year, but it'll be done at some point. Anyway, it's all good. Marcia says, is GH going to show up next after Cute Goth Cousin or perhaps Geek Lord? Someone should have an account called Geek Lord at this stage. And if you don't, I'm kind of disappointed in you, Glenn. But it's okay. We'll forgive you at the same time. Scott says, I tried to buy pick and was given so many, I felt guilty. I mean, don't feel guilty. It's all good. Benny says to Dennis, I remember watching Naked Lunch at work long ago. The boss walked in. We explained it was research. It was a video production company. But we weren't really doing research. Yeah, that happened a lot in video production companies. Ryan says, I buy picks and strings when I go to look at a shop and there's no one there and it's kind of awkward. I feel obligated to get something. That happened to me a lot in one particular store, which is shut down now. Probably because they never had any customers in there and they didn't know anything about anything when you'd ask them about it. So that's probably why. Marge says, yeah, I'd imagine that feeling of obligation. You feel bad. It's true. It is real world problems for sure. Scott says, I think because you could be mine, GNR was able to use some of James Cameron's camera and editing magic to make some of the videos from Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. They did have some pull back in the day because they used to do stuff. Some cool stuff with people. Yeah, because of You Could Be Mine as well. I'm sure James was quite friendly with them. Yeah, they definitely did some interesting videos back in the day. Victory says, Guitar Center killed all but one local music store and G&L dealer here. We used to have many. Guitar Center, I believe. I mean, nobody really talks nicely about Guitar Center to me. And I've been in two of them. I don't really have an opinion too much. Benny Larson says to Glenn, that's what I'm running through too. Nice cab. And John Bratt says, Dave, you can sell GH plectrums. Hey, you never know. That'd be something. Matt from Bosch says, same, definitely like to buy at least strings or picks in an independent guitar shop. Great to see you, Matt. Hope you're doing well, man. All right, we are cruising through this stream, 20 minutes to go. All right, Glenn says, Benny, you can't beat the price for its construction. The front grille is a little cheap, but everything else is quality. It looks great, I think, from afar. Anyway, I would definitely consider picking up one of those Harley Benton cabs at some point. John Brad says, I want a Harley Benton PRS style HSS in ocean blue. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. That'd be super cool. Richard Virginia says, never have I seen that Epiphone Modern. Well, there you go. It's if you want to look it up more, look up Epiphone Mo apostrophe baby. You'll get some hits. Or Baby Modern as well as another. Some people listed as that, but it's a fun one. Benny says, yes, definitely. There we go. Responding to Glenn. Victory says, last month I got a Tremonti PRS and it took Guitar Center 6 weeks to find its case. Wow, 6 weeks is a long time. Matt von Bosch says, apologies for the Steel Panther / Glory Hole content on the Facebook group. I was there, thought you guys would want to hear it. Hey man, I was digging it. Yeah, it's all good. I genuinely am a fan of Steel Panther. Like, all the jokes aside, I think they're a much needed dose of hilarity in the rock world. I do love them. So yeah, I mean, hey, I was enjoying it. Don't ever apologize for posting anything in the group. And yeah, it's all good. Thanks for posting it, in fact. Scott says, that's so bad it needs a small multicolored key plastic piano. Oh, the Modern. I don't know, man. I like it. I think it's just in case you've just joined us, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. It's for some reason it just feels like a guitar from straight out of The Simpsons. Um, I think for my guitar museum, that's definitely going into it. Just look at those tuners up on the right hand side as you look. Yeah, it's kind of terrible. Anyway, um, Glenn says to John, I think those Thoman had shootout between HB and the PRS. It was pretty close in sound, and the HB looks good. The HB of those does look pretty good. Richard says to Victory, I am a G&L dealer and they have made many new models in custom shops. There's a cult following for them. There certainly is. There certainly is. People love G&L. I think people who play G&Ls love G&Ls, and people who haven't played them will love them when they play them. I've never played a G&L, but I know that when I play one, I'll enjoy it. Scott says, ever see a skunk stripe separate from a maple neck? Separate from a maple neck. I mean, not unless someone has purposely done it, but there you go. DMAX says, I used bingo chips as guitar picks before. Hey, if it works, man, it works. Now it says to Scott, I saw that on a repair video. I forget which channel. It certainly was not this channel, sir. But I think I saw the same thing that you've seen. Where am I going now? Again, loads of comments just piled in on top of me. There we go. There we go. So on repair. There we go. Richard Virginia says, I have acquired 1,000 picks from the NAMM shows. Yeah, same. Say, Richard, they're just lying around. Where's one I had today that I was using? This one? I wasn't using this one today, but there you go. This, if you recognize this logo, that's a NAMM one, the one I picked up at NAMM. I don't know who it is. There's Vola guitars. I had one from them earlier. Everyone at NAMM has picks, and you get them. John says, Marsha, I put my favorite picks in medicine bottle. I keep in my pocket. There you go. Victory says, I'm a GNL guy, quality over substance. I lost my tribute to alcohol long ago. Haven't drank since I miss it. Swamp Ash without pick guard. It was a favorite single coil style. Very cool indeed. Now it says, get an ashtray from a yard sale to use for picks. That works too. Casey Baldwin says, hi everyone, was wondering if you tried a Randall RD 100, got one and all the tone in the world, but just got 2 with 12 Randall speakers. Is it me, or it seems like it to be missing something? Dude, that sounds awesome. I haven't ever played a Randall, to be honest, so can't tell you. I'm sure someone here has. William says, picks are your comfort blanket, Dave. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I have one particular one. I literally will never leave the house without it, because it's kind of special. So no polish. Yes, polish, because it's this is why it's a special pick. So this was a gift for my 40th birthday. I don't think you can see it, but it says 3 Chord Dave on it there. It's imprinted in it. Can you see it there now? There you go. 3 Chord Dave. And it's really cool. So that comes everywhere with me. And yes, I have tried to play guitar with the thin silver pick, and it can be done. You just probably have to replace your strings afterwards. And no, it doesn't give you that Brian May sound. I don't know why. But yeah, anyway, it's a fun one. But I consider it kind of a lucky charm at this point, that guitar pick. Benny says, have you seen the Sherwood Green Squire Anniversary Teledy for $320 anywhere? Thoman has the black one at that price, but the green one is sold out. I thought I saw it on Thoman this week, but I could be wrong. It could have been the black one I was thinking of. So yeah, sorry, dude, but I'll keep an eye out. If I do see one, I'll pop it in the Facebook group. But yeah, they're super cool though, the Sherwood Green ones. If I see it, I'll let you know. Hopefully they're going to restock. They're restocking a lot at the minute. So like they've even got slashed Epiphone gold tops in. Still $5.99 by the way. I think that's at the moment the $5.99 for those is the best deal I think for a Les Paul if you're buying one. 3 Chord Dave's Glory Hole Club band. Scott, if you were not the mod, you would get a timeout for that, even though it's hilarious. But good job. Marcia says, I've tried forming an official Glory Holes band here many times. All right, guys, I was going to say let's keep it PG, but we never do. So let's just not do that. Um, Richard Virginia says, Marcia, you seem to have a thing for GH's. Oh, you have no idea. What started off as an innocent reference to a Steel Panther song has become a whole subgenre of 3 Chord Dave live streams. But anyway, Glenn says, I joined a GH band, but I'd be late for rehearsal because I'm in another damn timeout. And then you get a timeout for being late. So, it's never going to work. Victory says, once I learn some Earl Scruggs, I'll be ready to jam. There you go. Vincent Doyle is here, says, evening chaps, great to see you, Vincent, hope you're well, man. Marcia says, I don't have a thing for them, Dave does. Dave certainly does not. Thanks anyway. Wow. DMAX says Spark 40, that is. Positive Grid have a new product coming soon. They haven't told me what it is, but they said keep an eye out for their new product. They're always trying to get me to promote their products. They think you guys are going to buy them. They don't know you guys very well. They are definitely going to come out with something, I think, next week. So keep an eye. If it's interesting, I'll make a video about it. Victory says, I want to start Widespread Panic tribute band, but play everything backwards. like it would be better. Like it would matter. I mean, you never know. Same at Radiohead. There you go. Rich C says, hi, and 20 minutes until bye. Hope you're well, Rich C. Thanks for dropping in. T says, just opened an Erdinger. Cheers. Cheers, sir. Can you slow on this tonight? Marcia says GH picks would need an actual hole, of course. You people. Ryan says, I was thinking that too, Marcia, a thumb hole. Probably be the greatest picks of all time. Glenn says the Steel Panther channel has some funny shit on it. It does. They are funny dudes, and they're the nicest dudes as well. Having met them, I could say very, very cool people. Very cool. Just the most nicest people you could meet. D-Max says Modern is a Jetsons guitar, not the Simpsons. Oh, I suppose, yeah, you got a point. Where are we now? Ryan says, I've never played a GNL, but I like them. And Glenn says, I've only played one GNL and I liked it. A Telly, very cool. Richard Clark says, I acquired the NAMM show for 1,000 picks. That's a good deal. John says, I have dozens of screw top medicine bottles filled with most of my guitar plectrums. Well, there you go. That's an interesting use of medicine bottles, for sure. Oh, hey. Unless it's going to dump in a load of comments to me, I think I've hit the bottom. Awesome. So we're not going to go overrun this week. Victory says, I'm debating getting an ASAT or an ASAT. I don't know if it's called an ASAT or an ASAT. Classic for about $550. Give or take, but I would rather replace my tribute. Scott says, Dave, thanks for everything. This show was a great pick-me-up. Great show, as always. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Always good to have you helping me out, and it's always good to hang with you guys on a Saturday. Don't forget, guys, there's no 3Chord Dave Live next Saturday because I got to do some stuff. And I gotta change this bloody software I'm using because it messed me up tonight. But there we go. It does look like I'm not going to get the funding for my guitar company tonight, but hey, it's fine. I'll talk to the bank manager or sell some body parts. We'll see what happens. Buglips says, I bought a pack of picks off Amazon, Alice brand. I got some Alice picks lying around. That must have been the last time I bought some. And I thought I was using a heavy gauge, but it's only a 0.81 millimeter. It's just the heaviest one in the pack. There you go. James Severin says, I think Trogley eats paste. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what he eats? Maybe. Glenn says, thank you, Dave, for another good show. Glenn, I think you need to up the review there. Good. That's not good enough. Timeout coming for you, my friend. Cool idea, John says. Marcia, that's for the bottles, I think. Victory says Trogley works okay on mute. I mean, he's doing a good job as clickbait thumbnails lately. He's making me want to see what guitars he's actually talking about. The one, was it today he was talking about the R8 or yesterday? And it's like, oh, what's he talking about here? What's going on? And I thought he was talking nonsense, but there you go. Yeah. Anyway, he does quite a lot. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I like him. Can't wait to visit his museum. John says, Marsha, I bought a pack of 100 rock artists for $10 and I wrapped them around the bottles. Cool. Scott says, I'm either watching the Matrix trilogy or King Ralph. King Ralph. Great suggestion. Glenn says to Victory and decal stickers. John says, indeed, very cool. Glenn also says King Ralph. That both of us would recommend that. Ryan says, just got a Spark Go. Haven't used the app yet, and I'm already loving it. Just using the presets. That's cool, Ryan. Yeah, I've been thinking of picking one of those up myself, and I just think it's a cool little product. They were using them all over. Now they were like, they had their own little booth and everything. I regret not doing a video with them, but at the time I had a lot going on, and yeah, they were bugging me. But yeah, I mean, there was some great sounds. Like, it was in that hall with lots of people around. You could hear it pretty well. So I was pretty impressed by it at that point. So very cool. I need to I definitely need to check one out. I think so. We've got that and the Mini and the Spark. So I wonder what the next product is going to be. Victory says, I need closure. In terms of the stream, you will get it soon. Booklip says to Scott, I bet you'd like the Animatrix shorts. The Animatrix, I forgot all about that. That was cool, actually. Yeah, that is very cool. And Marshall says, oh, no guitar company. It's just going to take longer, Marshall. Like maybe like by July we'll have the guitar company up and running. It's one of my dreams, I think, at this point, is to start my own guitar company. I've always kind of wanted to do it, something like that. So maybe let's like as a boutique side hustle, making like 6 guitars a year kind of thing. Who knows? So if one of these days I'll get around to it. Glenn says, damn spell check, great show. That's better, Glenn. I appreciate it. Thank you. No time out for you, sir. Kushman NYC says, great show, Dave. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Scott says, I'm aware of it. I don't know where in the story they fit into it. That's a great question. I'd have to look that up nowadays. But yeah, they're definitely after the first one, I think. Marcia says, always an amazing time here. Thank you, Marcia. Do appreciate it. John says, Dave, thank you for being truly glorious host. Thank you, John. I get where you're coming from on that one, but thank you. Victory says, the problem is the timbre voice that gurgles. Buglip says, it's linked, but its own thing. Probably best enjoyed after the first movie. That's what I would think, Buglips, for the Animatrix. Yeah, absolutely. But I know your taste well enough to be confident you dig it. There we go. Indeed. Ryan says, I wonder if they'll make a 1x12 Spark or something bigger. That would be interesting. They definitely have something coming, and they're excited about it. So, but like they sent an email 2 days ago, and it was like, just wanted to let you know we've got a cool product coming. Bye. Okay, thanks. Buglip says, it's something we would have watched whacked out of our trees back in the Killer Instinct days. Oh man, Killer Instinct, what a game that was back in the day. Victory says, closer on my alcoholic mistake and loss of my G and L. Well, hey, listen, man, you're doing all right now, and that's the big thing to look at. Scott says, the Spark Biggie. I mean, maybe. John says, cheers. Marcia says, Ryan, I was hoping they'd release a 10 or 12 inch for NAMM. I think they've just done the go at NAMM, so that's probably why they didn't. But if they've got something, who knows? And Chris from Coburg has dropped in to say, I'm late, time to cook. Barbecue dogs and burgers. Man, Scott. Sorry, Chris, you are always making me hungry, man. And it's too close to bedtime. But thanks so much for dropping in. It's always great to see you. And guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much to you guys for sticking with me with that first few minutes where things weren't working and it was going haywire and everything was just terrible. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I enjoyed hanging out with you. 33 likes is not enough to get the John Wick story. Maybe you'll get it next week. Who knows? Someone's going to have to ask me and remind me about it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Been super cool. Remember, no 3 Chord Dave next week. Remind me the week after. No 3 Chord Dave next week. Just remember that. And I'll see you next week. on a video, not on a live stream, talking with Dave Mustaine's probably, or something else. Keep an eye out and make sure you like and watch all the videos. Thanks for so much, guys. I'll be back in another guitar related video very soon, but until then, take care.